How to prove the power rule? The power rule states that if the function is x raised to n, then its derivative would equal n times x raised to n minus 1. So how can we prove that this formula works for the purpose? So we can take the help of the binomial theorem, which states what would equal if a plus b raised to n of a number, like any real number, then what would that equal to? So that is what this formula shows, and we can take help of it using the slope of the derivative formula. So let's say that the function f of x equals x raised to n. The prime of that function, f prime of x, would be limit as h approaches 0 of x plus h raised to n minus x raised to n over h. Recall that the slope formula for the function f at x at a single point would be f prime of x equals limit as h approaches 0 of f at x plus h minus f at x over h. So the same formula is being used over here. So we can see that x plus h over n can use the binomial theorem, which would give this long equation over here, minus x raised to n divided by h. So if we notice over here, we can see that x raised to n and minus x raised to n can be cancelled out over here. And then we will be left with these set of numbers. We can see that every number has an h in it, and so we can factor out an h, and that h and that h and that squared, and then each number from the h will cancel out, and so we will be left with this number over here without the h, and then every number with one less h in them. And we know that limit as h approaches 0 can be equal to that, so we can plug in the 0 for h's. So when we plug in the zeros for h's, we notice that all these numbers can be multiplied by h's, and so they can turn into zeros, except this number whose h is already cancelled out with this one. So it would be n times x raised to n minus 1. Thus the f prime of x would be n times x raised to n minus 1, and we have proved that the power rule is correct, that it states that for the function f of x equals n x raised to n, its derivative, the prime of that function, would be n times x raised to n minus 1. Thus, the power rule is proved.